Jordan Blue's moment on America's Got Talent was nothing short of soul-piercing. Her voice wasn't polished or flashy, but it carried a weight that instantly made the studio audience lean in. She chose a slow, emotional ballad and delivered it with trembling vulnerability, as though every word came straight from a hidden wound. Judges were visibly moved. The audience erupted in applause, and comments flooded online spaces praising her authenticity. Many viewers called her the voice of the season, raw, unfiltered, and unforgettable. But then something strange happened. Jordan, who had seemingly just stepped into the national spotlight, was never seen again. She didn't return for the next round. No follow-up footage aired, no backstage interviews, not even a short segment mentioning why she had exited. While talent shows occasionally see contestants leave for personal reasons, Jordan's case stood out because of the silence that followed. It wasn't just her presence that disappeared, it was her entire story. No one offered any explanation. The media, producers, even AGT's official platforms never addressed her absence. It was as if the girl who had just made America cry had been gently erased from the narrative. The next episode aired, but her name had vanished. The next episode that followed, Jordan's unforgettable audition, fans tuned in expecting to see her name on the roster, or at least a brief mention of her status. But what they got was unsettling silence.
There was no continuation of her journey, no due to personal reasons statement, no tribute montage. She wasn't listed in the lineup, and no judge brought her up. It felt like the show skipped a page or intentionally ripped one out. AGT is known for featuring backstories, behind-the-scenes moments, and updates on returning favorites. When someone leaves, the show almost always explains it. But Jordan's disappearance broke that pattern completely. The absence was so complete, fans began asking questions in comment sections, forums, and Reddit threads. Viewers wondered whether she had been removed by choice or if something behind the scenes had gone wrong. Producers refused to comment. It's unusual for a contestant who sparked such a strong emotional reaction to be treated as though she had never existed. The silence wasn't just suspicious, it was deafening. And in the world of reality television, where every frame is planned, silence can speak volumes. Her social media trail? Erased like she never existed. In today's digital age, someone like Jordan Blue, who had just captivated millions, would normally ride the wave of sudden fame. Instagram updates, TikTok duets, or at the very least, a thank you post to fans. But Jordan did none of that. In fact, her entire online presence began to fade. Fans who tried to follow her Instagram noticed it had gone private or was inactive. Her TikTok, reportedly active before AGT, disappeared entirely. Her name, once searchable with clips and cover songs, began returning fewer and fewer results. Her YouTube channel? Gone. Even friends who had tagged her in posts seemed to have removed or hidden those mentions. The digital trail that typically expands after a viral performance was shrinking in real time. Some speculated that she'd chosen to retreat from the spotlight to preserve her mental health. Others thought she was under strict contractual limitations. But as the weeks passed and her silence persisted, the conversation shifted. This wasn't just someone pulling back. It looked more like someone or something had pulled the plug entirely. The girl who had just started being heard was now impossible to find. Some say she walked away, others say she was erased. As speculation grew, fans began diving deeper, sharing theories that ranged from personal burnout to full-blown backstage controversy. The most persistent rumor was that Jordan had faced pressure to dramatize her personal story for television, something she may not have agreed with. Former AGT contestants have spoken anonymously about how production sometimes encourages certain narratives, turning contestants into characters with highlighted trauma or emotion to boost viewership. In Jordan's case, her voice already carried pain, and she didn't seem like someone eager for fame. That raised questions. Did she refuse to play the game?
Did she push back against being typecast as the sad girl with a powerful voice? A now-deleted thread claimed someone close to her family had suggested she was uncomfortable with how she was being framed by producers. Some believe that conflict resulted in a quiet agreement for her to step away and for AGT to never mention her again. While there's no official statement to confirm these claims, the show's absolute silence on her departure only fuels suspicion. In a business that thrives on attention, disappearing this completely takes more than just a decision. It often takes a contract. When lawyers enter, stories disappear, and so do people. Another theory that refuses to go away involves the legal side of reality TV. Contestants on major shows like AGT often sign extensive contracts that give producers control over their image, content, and future media appearances. Several fan theories suggest that Jordan's disappearance may have been triggered by a legal dispute between her family and the show. Some claim that after her audition aired, her parents were concerned about how she was being portrayed, or about the direction the producers wanted to take her storyline. If true, they may have sought to terminate the agreement and pull her out of the competition. In such cases, showrunners might agree to let the contestant go under strict terms of silence and forced by non-disclosure agreements. This would explain why Jordan never posted again, why AGT never spoke about her, and why her audition was scrubbed from official platforms. It would also explain the eerie coordination of her digital disappearance. If there was a quiet legal exit, it worked. Nothing from either side has ever resurfaced. And in the world of unscripted television, a complete blackout is usually the result of something being very, very scripted, behind closed doors. She lit up the stage, but maybe fame burned too bright. One possibility that often gets overlooked is that Jordan Blue didn't just disappear, she chose to. Sudden fame, especially for young, emotionally vulnerable performers, can be more of a burden than a blessing. The attention, the pressure, the comments from strangers, and the expectations to perform again, it can all become overwhelming, especially for someone who didn't seek the spotlight in the first place. Fans who watched Jordan's audition noted how fragile she seemed, how reluctant her body language was, even as her voice soared. Perhaps she realized that what came next, tours, interviews, contracts, wasn't what she wanted. Maybe she simply wanted to sing, be heard once, and then return to her life. If so, her decision to retreat is a brave one. She didn't ride the fame wave. She didn't chase validation. She walked away and left an entire country wondering. In a world obsessed with being seen, perhaps Jordan Blue found strength in becoming unseen again. Fans searched everywhere, but got no answers. As months passed, AGT fans didn't give up. They posted in forums, flooded AGT's YouTube comment sections, and even created Reddit threads titled, "Where is Jordan Blue?" Some launched petitions demanding the show address her disappearance. Others tried to track down anyone who knew her personally, hoping for a clue. But no one, not the producers, not the judges, not even fellow contestants, ever acknowledged her again. That kind of silence usually only follows a legal agreement. But in this case, it also created a legend. Jordan Blue became more than a contestant. She became a mystery. Her one performance lives on in fan uploads and memory. And the absence of explanation only made her more unforgettable. Viewers weren't just sad that she left, they were haunted by how she left. Because when someone touches the world and then disappears, it leaves behind a silence that's louder than applause. She may be gone from fame, but not from hearts. Today, there's no official update on Jordan Blue. No surprise comeback, no statement, no farewell message. But that doesn't mean her story is over. Some believe she's living a quiet life, far from the chaos of entertainment. Others think she's still singing, maybe in private, maybe under a new name. A few even claim they've stumbled across anonymous SoundCloud uploads that sound just like her. But nothing is confirmed, and maybe that's how she wants it.
Her silence, in a way, is her legacy. While many seek fame, Jordan's story reminds us that being heard doesn't mean being owned. Her one song still echoes in the minds of those who watched her. And maybe, just maybe, that single moment was enough. She sang once, and in doing so, she left behind a mystery that no amount of spotlight could explain.